Welcome back to Mindset of a Goddess TV, where we become whole spiritually and aligned practically. One thing I don't agree with within personal development is how people talk about their old self like she was embarrassing, weak, or not them anymore. And I'm speaking to both men and women, but because I'm personally referring to myself as I speak, I'm going to say she. That version of you was doing the best that she could. Before the awareness, before the boundaries, before the healing, that was still you. She was still smart, still intuitive, and still loving. She just didn't have awareness yet. She hadn't fully awakened. Maybe there was a time when I was in survival mode. Maybe people pleasing, putting others before myself, or putting others people's needs or feelings, or just doing things to make them happy before considering myself, not saying no. Overthinking every decision, going with what I think the first time, or trusting my intuition the first time instead of second guessing it or making thoughts or making choices with my ego. Tolerating less than I deserve, seeing all the mistreatment, disappointment, and just making excuses for them instead of actually taking accountability that this isn't for me, or these people or this environment isn't aligned with me. Shrinking myself to keep the peace. Familiarity is something that brings us comfort. And so sometimes when you are smart, intuitive, and you do come from a background that is maybe more dysfunctional, chaotic, or even toxic, a lot of times you will shrink yourself just to keep peace. But how long can you live like that, especially when you are going into adulthood and trying to evolve? Seeking validation, that goes out also again with not trusting your intuition the first time, looking on external or comparing yourself to others instead of trusting what you want and what's for you, or choosing your own destiny. And like I said, ignoring my intuition. It took a while for me to truly trust my intuition. It's one thing to know what intuition is or that gut feeling, but until you fully cleanse yourself, until you fully heal and just really become really in tune with yourself, with your higher self, that is when I decided to really trust my intuition. That is when I really start to trust myself, my own choices, and my own pathway that was meant for me. Even when things aren't working out or when I don't have it figured out, I was able to still trust myself and my intuition. It's like an inner compass. Maybe I wasn't overthinking. Maybe I was meticulous, trying to get everything right so I could finally feel safe. Maybe I wasn't weak. Maybe I was being prudent with the awareness that I had at the time. She wasn't broken. You're not broken. She was surviving. And survival kept me alive long enough to evolve. This is for people who are healing or still doing healing work, who are aware now and feel like they have to. And I focus on integration. And this is a lot of times people tell you that you should get rid of your old self or that's not you anymore. But you still carry parts of that person that was existing then. She hasn't left or he hasn't left. That's she or he still exists. It's just a lot more stronger, a lot more wiser, and a lot more aware. Trauma doesn't create a fake you. Survival doesn't erase who you are. It narrows your perception. Your old identity wasn't wrong. It was underinformed. That version of you was operating with limited awareness, not limited worth. Growth isn't becoming someone else. It's becoming more of who you always been, with wisdom. This is why it's important to value self-forgiveness, because we look back and we see the choices that we made or the people that we are around or the things that we were involved in, but we wouldn't be who we are today if we wasn't existing then or going through a lot of those mistakes or chaos at the time. And I've been through a lot, especially if you watch my Becoming Her series, that will tell you all about it, especially if you are a new watcher or haven't watched it yet. And so when I look back, I have more joy, or I look back and I don't really dwell or go into a negative state. And that's what I want for you as well. That's why I'm making this video. This is the power of wisdom. This is why I teach integration. When you shame your past self, you undermine your own growth. When you honor her, you strengthen your becoming. Some of you don't hate your old self because you were insecure. You resent your old self because of what you tolerated, because of the people that you allowed in, because of the things you accepted, because of the times you didn't leave. But you tolerated what matched your level of awareness at the time. And that's something that you have to realize. That doesn't make you foolish. That means that you were evolving. And healing doesn't mean you will never feel pain again. It's not about being happy and joyful. Just because you stay isolated or you finally got away from dysfunctional or past people, it does not mean that every day is going to be perfect or you are meant to be happy every single day. You can be transformed and still experience isolation. You can be integrated and still make a wrong decision. You can be awakened and still feel hurt. Being integrated doesn't mean life stops happening. It means you don't abandon yourself when it does. You weren't stupid. You weren't blind. You were learning with the tools that you had. And I hope that this is helping you either forgive yourself, be patient with yourself, or simply be proud of yourself and who you've become now. Survival wasn't your identity. It was a season. And being integrated doesn't mean I don't fall off sometimes. It means I know how to return to myself instead of searching for answers outside of me. That's the difference. If you are becoming a new version of yourself, don't rush to discard who you were. Integrate her, thank her, then evolve. You're not creating a new identity. You're remembering who you've always been, with more awareness, more wisdom, and more power. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and I'm very grateful for everyone who has supported this far. If you're new here, I welcome you and thank you for supporting. And I'd love to hear your perspective. How do you view your old self? Do you reject them? Or have you learned to integrate them? Share your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you watch my latest episode, really all the episodes that's been posted these past few weeks. It's to help you become whole, enlighten you, or even just awaken you to something new or a confirmation of where you are. I will see you in the next video. Bye.